not watching everything, it means nothing.
The large print giveth, and the small print taketh away.
You, sir, are an idiot.
You guys are talking about Maven from Tough Enough, right? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Royal Ramble. I'm your host, as always, John Covey Cole. Got Andy Frampton in the studio today. How you doing, buddy?
Loving life.
Hey, good to have you on. Got Brian Reza, Rich Quick via Skype again. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Well, I'm still a champ. And once again, Derek's not here. I think I done scared him off or something. I don't know where he's at.
Told me to come.
You are still a champ.
Something.
I would go with or something.
Yeah.
Well, call it what you may. I'm still a champ, and Derek is still not here. Real quick.
Well,
on Facebook,
you know what? It's not very safe to leave him face down in the road outside in front of your house. It's been flooding a lot in West Virginia. Don't leave him out there in the road.
If that's where he winds up, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Jacob Jennings on Facebook says, I'm here for Andy Frampton.
Ratings boost, baby.
You got some fans following you around, man.
Wow, he just popped the crowd, man.
Now I know.
Cheap pops, cheap heat, baby.
Whatever it takes.
That's right.
We've been wanting to get you on the show for a while. You live about an hour from me.
Well,
give or take.
I was here for the Royal Rumble episode.
Royal Ramble and Royal Ramble Rumble.
Royal Ramble Rumble. Okay, I had to get it straight.
Wanted to get you back for the Ramble in the Bank, but you had to work. You couldn't make it.
Yeah, it's
part of life sometimes, right?
Part of life on the road. It sucks.
But we got you back tonight, and
happy to be here.
Tonight's topic, guys, which we will talk about a little bit later this evening, but tonight's topic is, what was the best tag team move of all time? Ramblers, save your answers. We're going to dive into that later, but we might as well go ahead and start.
That wasn't easy.
That wasn't easy.
No,
I'm
it
still
was
torn.
not an easy topic.
I'm actually still torn myself. There's kind of two that I'm leaning on, and I've thought about maybe a third just to...
I've got.
Well, are you stealing our gimmicks there, John Covey Cole? You're going to have more than one, more than two?
Hey, Rich, with all due respect, I'm the champ, and the champ does what the champ wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
I think he can pick that many because I've got that many, and I'd like to share them. So let's all just do 3.
Well, Brian, we know you have that many. You always have that many.
Well, if we're doing 3, I just got triple excited.
Yeah.
Every time I get triple excited, there's babies being born 9 months later. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
But let's go ahead and get into our pros and cons segment of the show. Andy, the way we do this, we try to narrow it down to one pro and one con per panel member, which, once again, Brian has a hard time with that sometimes. So I try to...
Because there are so many cons.
Yeah,
we rarely have problems coming up with multiple pros.
Cons are definitely outweighing pros in the world of pro wrestling right now, in my opinion.
So much. Since you're the guest, Andy, I'm going to let you start. Do you want to start with pros or cons?
I want to start with cons.
Okay.
You're a negative person. You are a very negative person, Andy.
I'm not very negative. I just want time to think about what I think is a better pro.
So you're not a glass half empty kind of guy?
No. I'm a why is there not more whiskey in it kind of guy. A major con, and I know it's going to sound like I'm just being the mainstream person, but it's I would assume all 3 of you have heard the Jericho John Moxley interview.
Of course.
Okay. The big con for me right now is with so many guys and girls in WWE talking about wanting their release and then being told no, but then they shove them onto TV anyway. We're getting, half the passion in performances from people that we know, and we know they want to leave that company. That's not something I want to see. I don't want to see somebody phoning it in every Tuesday.
What about the Revival though? They're kind of
That's what I was gonna say, John.
The Revival, they obviously won out, but every time they're on TV, they're making it work.
Out. Yeah,
they're killing it.
They're 2-time Raw Tag Champs. The Revival won out, but you look at, obviously Luke Harper's not going to be back on TV.
That's a shame. That
is a shame to be, because I've said before, to be his size and move like he does, and just he's amazing. He should have already been way higher up and paid more. But Will Sasha Banks come back? Who knows? She's, I follow her on Instagram because I'm a varied mark in different degrees. She's taking the color out of her hair. She's got regular black hair now.
So it's a color thing now. We're gonna take it there,
well,
Andy.
If we could get there in the first 5 minutes, we'll get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. Get done with it.
I mean, there's 4 Caucasians ranting about things we don't actually have control of.
That's what we do here. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good call.
I can agree with you on that. I think the Revival, because I think they're still getting what they're getting. They just won the tag team championships. Kudos. Congratulations, boys.
Great finish on that match.
Mazel tov.
100%.
Now, whereas in like Gallows and Anderson, who have said they're not coming back, they're not going to be on a TV anymore. No. Luke Harper, as you said, is not going to be on TV anymore. I could really give... it's too early to get dirty. No. It's like...
I think we're going to see Luke Harper on TV.
On WWE TV?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, they extended his contract. I mean, they're definitely going to bury him before he leaves.
Are they?
Did they extend his contract, or are they just? Well,
they didn't extend it. They tagged on all the injury days,
which is the same thing.
Yeah,
okay. That's the same thing they did with Dash Wilder.
Right.
So the Revival is there. Right. I think they are pushing the Revival right now in hopes that maybe like come up, because they know that the Revival and the Young Bucks would be money.
Oh yeah.
And so maybe this is a thing to maybe try to sweeten the pot a little bit to get them to stay and extend their contracts. So, and as far as Sasha Banks, I could really care less. There are plenty of other women.
But that's Snoop's niece.
For the record, I'm only throwing out Sasha because she's the most mainstream name that is asking for, is showing discourse with the company. Bayley is obviously somewhere along the lines getting what she wants. She's got the SmackDown title right now, so I mean they've obviously satisfied her one way or another.
Giggity.
I
didn't mean that.
Let's move on. Brian, Rich, which one of you gentlemen want to go first with your con?
You want me to do it? I kind of enjoyed wrestling this week. I'm not gonna lie about it. I really enjoyed a lot of wrestling this week, and I may have missed a bad part, but no, I have no con.
There was a bad part.
Are you kidding me?
On the other side of the world.
Did you watch Super Showdown?
Right, get it, Rich. Get it.
Oh, are we talking about Super? Can I use Super Showdown?
Absolutely. It was over the
weekend.
weekend.
It was supposed to be wrestling
every week, and I know you can use it.
It was more of a train wreck. But if
I
you want
to even think about that, I was thinking about Raw and SmackDown, which I enjoyed. So I'm going to go with Goldberg. Goldberg's my con because Goldberg sucks, and Goldberg should have stayed home. That's
Hold on a second there. You're so quick to bury Goldberg like that. He's never been a great performer, but he was concussed, allegedly. You're not going to give him a pass on that, maybe?
No, I'll tell you what. If he wouldn't have got concussed and would have wrestled the best match of his life, I would still be standing here right now saying Goldberg is my con because he should have never been there.
If Goldberg would have wrestled the best match of his life at Super Showdown, he'd have wrestled against The Undertaker, who, in my opinion, is the greatest big man of all time, but also should have never stepped back in a ring after he faced Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33.
I agree, and you know what? I was there at WrestleMania 33 when it happened, and you were too, and it felt like something special to us. And then they took that shit away from us. Just
here's my question. Me and you have never talked about this. Where did you sit in the arena? Like, were you facing the ramp?
I was on the left side. I was on the left-hand side of the ramp at the top of the ramp.
He was on the side that caught fire.
I was right near the fire.
Okay, when you say left hand, are you saying like left hand if you're looking at the ring, or
stage
left hand if you were in the ring?
Stage left.
Yeah, stage left. Like if I'm coming out, boom, my left's here, my right's here.
Okay,
I was on the left.
You were a hot minute behind me. I will actually on Facebook. I'll send you a picture. I got the best deal ever for WrestleMania 33 to have thrown that trip together by the seat of my pants. Like I'll share it with all three of y'all later.
We all ought to put a plan together now because I live in Fort Myers and it's coming to Tampa.
That's very true.
We should all make plans.
And I've already declared right now that at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium, where a pirate ship is part of the actual stadium, if Kari Sane does not make that part of her entrance, they are missing out.
They are. That's so true. That is so true. Go ahead.
But when I was at WrestleMania 33, I was probably 2/3 of the way down the ramp towards the ring. And as The Undertaker made his way down, everybody had that whole, oh my God, there he is. He's the last of the superheroes, all that. Because, he really is, because everybody else now is just a guy.
What about the game?
It felt great.
Game's a superhero.
Triple H is not a superhero.
Have you seen his cape?
I've seen his cape. I've seen Drew McIntyre's weird vest cape he's got now. That's kind of crazy.
It's kind of like a vape, isn't it?
You know what Triple H is just like? Triple H is just like Lex Luthor when he won presidency in the comic book. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But when
I like it. I like it.
Yes, it's a very good analogy.
Yeah, when Lex Luthor became president, there was a selection of people in Metropolis that totally was behind him.
Yeah.
But
you're one of those people.
I'm one of those people when it comes to Triple H. And that's what he's like.
Yeah. But when Undertaker was coming to the ring at WrestleMania 33, like I said, I was about 2/3 of the way down the ramp towards the ring. So he was coming at me for the longest time because that ramp was long. And
Undertaker does not move fast for anyone.
No, not at all. In fact, at the end, when he left, he only went about 1/3 of the way up the ramp. There was a trap door he got to sink down through. Because they knew tired Undertaker was not going to be able to get back up that ramp.
That's what I was going to say. He
He
didn't even make the trip back. He did not even make the trip back whatsoever.
We're forgetting the actual con here, which was the Super Showdown.
Right, the match that just happened.
No.
The
my con was just Goldberg.
Okay, just Goldberg. That's not fair, Brian. That's not fair at all, Brian. And,
okay, no. I want to talk about, what do you think about the tombstone where Goldberg got tombstone right on his head? And if you look at it, it's like, oh, maybe he let go too soon.
Was it not? I mean, it seemed to me like an old school receipt. He had just fucking brainbustered the shit out of him.
There's your F-bomb for the month, Brian.
Oh, that's it. No more. I mean, really, that brainbuster was ridiculous. That was the worst brainbuster I might have ever seen.
It wasn't a brainbuster. It was supposed to be the jackhammer.
That's what I'm saying, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I'm doing him a favor by saying it was a brainbuster because it looked just like a brainbuster. I know if Austin Aries would have done that in the WWE, he'd have lost his job earlier.
I watched the match 3 times leading up to today because I knew somebody was wanting to talk about it. Yeah, it was rough. Every time I watched it, it was rough. I think Goldberg knocked himself loopy in the back before he came to the ring. Because
he admitted that
before he came to the ring.
Yeah, he admitted that. He doesn't remember even walking out through the curtain. He admitted it.
Makes sense because he had a nice little red spot on his head. He obviously didn't have a locker or something like he does.
No, he was saying that he didn't remember because of the injury that happened in the ring, though, not before.
Oh, was he saying he doesn't remember walking back through the curtain?
No, he might have said out the curtain, but it's because of the injury that happened later, not at the time that he was coming out bleeding.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but any smart wrestling fan knew this was a disaster going into it. I'm not a huge Goldberg fan. I'm not a huge Undertaker fan. But the reason Goldberg worked and the reason Undertaker has worked is because they're working with guys that can still go, that can still take care of each other.
Hold on
a second. I'll let you talk. Let me talk. These old bastards need to just let it go. They really do. They can't go. They're going to hurt somebody. They need to just hang their boots up and be done with it. Now you can say what you want to say.
I agree with you. I don't have anything to say to that.
And I ain't got no problem with old timer George South. I love what George South does, but he's not going in there flipping somebody upside down trying to tombstone him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not yet.
That's true.
But Ricky Morton is doing Canadian Destroyer, so
Ricky Morton did a Canadian Destroyer, so
that ruins that theory.
By the way,
Ricky. I would let Ricky Morton tombstone jackhammer me before. Wait, that sounded bad. I would let Ricky Morton perform any kind of move on me before I would let Goldberg shake my hand.
By the way, that doesn't sound any better than what you stopped trying to do.
I stand by it. I stand by it.
He stands by it.
All right, let's move on, guys. I'm going to go ahead and give my con, and then...
all right, go ahead.
I was going to say, you said like you was excited. I was going to let you have the finale. My con is Shane McMahon on TV altogether. You got him on Raw. You got him on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre is the future, and you got him paired with Shane McMahon. Why, I don't know. Shane McMahon is taking spots from people that could use the spot. And Steve New's not here, but this is when I would pitch the word spot to him.
Yeah, we not gonna work here.
Yeah, we know.
Not gonna work here. But Shane McMahon in general, guys, best in the world. Okay, haha, you're getting heat, great. But do we really got to have you on Monday for 15 minutes and on Tuesday for 15
minutes? Are you trying to tell me
minutes?
he was just on TV for a combined 15 minutes?
No, 15 on Raw, 15 on SmackDown.
I was going to say, because I find that...
Probably closer to like
3 weeks ago, they
maybe
went 41
21
minutes for an actual wrestling match.
I heard a rumor today that he's supposed to be the one to take the title off Kofi Kingston when it happens. And I don't know why in the hell that would make sense.
I don't understand why athletic Patrick Duffy is going to be the SmackDown champion.
I don't know.
Wow, he does look like Patrick Duffy.
Yeah, he does. All right. Let me be devil's advocate just for one moment. I agree with you. I am not a fan of Shane McMahon.
We need to get this in a soundbite. Rich Quick just said he agrees with me.
I heard it.
Did you guys hear it?
You're the producer of the show. I'm pretty sure you can get a soundbite.
I can do that. Thanks for throwing me under the bus, Brian. Go ahead, Rich.
I'm just saying, you're the man.
Work with me here.
I said I agree that Shane McMahon being on TV so much is not as so great. But when you look at the alternative, I would much rather have Shane McMahon getting legit heat, not Baron Corbin go away heat, but getting legit heat. I would much rather have Shane McMahon being on television than Stephanie.
Yeah,
Who would you rather have? It's either going to be Shane or it's going to be Stephanie. At least Shane's going to get an ass whipping at the end of the day.
You're, in my opinion, you're only half wrong there. I'm going to go back to the whole thing you said with Shane.
I think I need some half right.
With the Shane versus Baron, I mean, is Shane really not getting go away heat?
It feels like go away heat to me.
It feels the last few weeks it's been go away heat, like not as
only
much
because
as
he's there so much. Only because he's there so much.
Yeah, but I mean,
I disagree. I think Shane McMahon would be missed as a heel if he left. If he was wrong. I mean, people love Shane McMahon in another way. Like right now, they hate Shane McMahon, but let Shane McMahon do something not bad, they're all going to jump back on him. Like he's got a crew of fans that might not be happy with what he's doing right now, but they would still cheer him if he got on top of the cage and threw his body off. That's what Shane McMahon's working with.
That's all Shane's doing at this point.
Well, for a long time, that was all Mick Foley was doing. Just throwing himself off of things.
Yeah, but he was. I mean, before that, he was landing on barbed wire and C4.
All right, guys, let's move on. Rich Quick, what is your con this week?
All right, my con of the week, and I really wish Stephen P. New was there. Not that I don't love you boys.
He's at home watching Nigel McGuinness documentaries.
Good,
nice.
As he should. But my con of the week is the news that Tyrus, old Brodus Clay, got kicked off of his Fox News show due to sexual. You did not hear this?
I did not.
There goes a weekly news segment. Thank Rick.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, baby. It's still a con.
We still got pros though.
Yeah, it's a good segue though. We'll come back to this. Circle back around to it.
Okay.
So you got kicked
go ahead and
off.
Tell about it, Rich.
Okay. So Tyrus has a spot on a Fox News show, right?
Yeah.
With this very attractive blonde lady. I forget her name because I don't watch Fox News.
I'm pretty sure those are interchangeable.
Britt McHenry was her name.
Pretty sure they're interchangeable. They put other women in that spot.
Pretty much. So he got kicked off. Actually, John Kevin Cole, if you have that information, please
I'll
go
ahead.
ahead.
Brodus Clay sent co-host Britt McHenry unwanted lewd and sexual text messages on multiple occasions. When Fox found out about this, they simply moved him off of the Un-PC show and put him onto another show called Enough Said. And then today, Fox said that they are looking into it internally, but this is typically what they do in this situation, so this is pretty much the end of it, unless somebody pushes the issue, I guess.
And other people have said, sources have said that, yeah, that's kind of what he does. This is not like oh, really? He would do that? I don't believe. They're like, yeah, that checks out.
Don't they know that Funky's gonna roll?
I mean, the Funkasaurus just has overstepped his bounds, and it's one of those things where it's like, man, I look at it like you're not just representing. If you're a former wrestler and you go on to do, it's like anything mainstream, you're still representing the wrestling business.
Sure.
Right.
And if you are an asshole in real life, the lead sentence is going to be pro wrestler so-and-so is an asshole. And so it does nothing but hurt the business, and I don't like it.
I agree.
So that is my con for the week.
Somebody should have called his
Tyrus.
mama.
Yeah, 100%.
Somebody should have called his mama because, I mean, hey, maybe he got a vibe. I don't know. But you don't do stuff over text message nowadays, especially if you're on a TV show.
On Snapchat where they can't save the evidence.
They can Snapchat
they can save it.
Yeah, but you know they saved it on Snapchat.
Just do it in real life like Louis C.K.
I didn't make a joke about it. It'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That was.
I love Louis, by the way.
I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but you're right. These days you can't do that. Even though he was probably just flirting around, trying to make a move, you can't put it in documentation now because you're always being watched, you're always being judged, especially when you're in the public eye.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
let's move on to the pros, unless one of you guys have something to say about it.
I was going to say, I wonder how many of those interchangeable girls have gotten dirty pics and unwanted passes thrown at them, other than that girl, because there's always someone different on that couch.
Well, like Bill O'Reilly has had to pay out millions of dollars because of it.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not saying it, and it's 100%, I'm saying this right now, is 100% not right. But I'm betting that Tyrus is a hell of a lot cooler than Bill O'Reilly. I'm just saying. So, I mean, if you're going to get sexually harassed by somebody, yeah, I'd much rather have a beer with Tyrus than Bill O'Reilly.
As much TNA as I watched after he left, it's so weird to think about the Funkasaurus gimmick now because he's like Tyrus in my head. So I never think about the Funkasaurus.
I didn't realize it until
thing.
recently when I was listening to one of Something to Wrestle With. I think that's what it was, or maybe it was 83 Weeks. But I didn't realize they recycled his theme song from Ernest the Cat Miller. I never realized that at the time.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, they sure did.
I don't watch TNA because I like the 5 brain cells I still have. And so I didn't see any of his work in TNA. I just knew he was the Funkasaurus, and then one day I was drunk in a Waffle House that was showing Fox News, and for whatever reason, Brodus Clay was a correspondent, and I was like, "Wow, really?"
You marked out, didn't you? You was like, "What's going on right here?"
This is where we've made it to.
Yeah, and when you watch it, it makes you really dislike him as a human being.
He was sitting there basically in full Funkasaurus gimmick, like he had like a tracksuit on and a backwards hat and a chain. I was like,
did he have any Funkadactyls with him?
He didn't have no, but that blonde girl was sitting.
He was
right
trying.
Next to him.
He was trying.
He was.
Yeah, I was like, this is just him.
Rich said he was trying. He was. You're right. Let's move on to the pros, guys. Andy, once again, you are the guest. Go ahead and start the pros, my friend.
My pro is R-Truth.
R-Truth's great.
I love everything R-Truth has done for the last 2 months.
His 7-Eleven European title.
Getting locked in the road case.
I love everything. Cesaro pulling the table from under the ring and Truth laying on it hiding in the middle of a match he had nothing to do with is a gif at this point, and I send it to people that don't watch wrestling just to see their reactions.
Did you see where the viewers were under 1 million for every single segment? Some as low as like 200K people were watching, and R-Truth had 2.7 million while he was on TV.
I saw a thing 2 weeks ago that it said the only thing that is actually staying at the levels they were at this time last year is anything with R-Truth and Firefly Funhouse. That's the only 2 things on WWE programming that is staying at the levels that they were at this time last year.
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
R-Truth. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they're afraid to give him the nudge, but if you think about it back through the years, he's a lot like Heath Slater, and I'm not just marking out for the hometown boy. Anything they give him, he makes work. Remember Little Jimmy? That was hilarious. That was gold.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing. I don't know why. Hopefully now, I don't think they will, but hopefully now they'll see what kind of asset they have there.
Well, like R-Truth is one of those performers who knows, who's experienced enough and really kind of knows his role. But given in TNA, R-Truth is a world champion.
That wasn't just TNA. That was NWA TNA, so that means that R-Truth was an NWA World Heavyweight
Not
champion.
just the city, Craig, the world.
No, the world.
Craig.
Yeah.
And that makes really R-Truth has been misused, and that topic comes back around again for me to be able to say, Andy, if you're not watching TNA, I know you said the brain cell situation.
Put Impact over.
That's fine.
There's some good stuff. Those guys are super talented, and I mean the storylines aren't always on point, but the action is incredible on TNA. I'm just saying.
My thing with TNA, and not in any way to catch
I'm going to correct you, gentlemen. TNA is not a thing anymore. It's Impact Wrestling.
Whatever.
Either way, Impact Wrestling,
it's Global Force version 2 or whatever. My thing is, if I miss a week of it, I come back, literally everything's changed.
That's true.
Like
you can't miss too many weeks.
There's no continuity. Like it's just gone, and I can't do that because sometimes I'm not around to watch it when it's on, and I don't.
Well, it's still consistent, great action. There's some really cool stuff that you're missing.
I'm not taking away from the action inside the ring. I'm taking away from the storylines and the character development.
Well, when you say that you don't watch TNA or Impact, I think about, well, is he just talking about now, or was there a time when you did watch Impact or TNA? Because
there was a point where I was watching it when it first came around. It was on Fox at 2:00 on Fridays.
That wasn't the first time it came around. It actually.
And Andy was like, "Oh, look here, it's a new ECW. What's going on late at night?"
No, I was anytime there's new wrestling, I always give it a try. I have to.
That was like
fan. I'm not a WWE fan.
If I'm not wrong, I think that was about 2 or 3 years in when they did that, when that actually happened. But when they first started, it started on pay-per-view, and you bought the pay-per-view for $5.99 or something every week.
Actually, it was $8.99.
$8.99. Okay, yeah.
3 easy installments of $8.99.
There you go.
But it was awesome.
Resner is so proud to be an OG TNA guy. I've heard this damn story.
Man.
I went to the first Impact show ever.
Ken Shamrock was the champion. Boom, R-Truth becomes the champion. He was one of the best champions ever.
Yeah. So that being said,
won the Battle Royal,
to
didn't he,
circle
to win
it.
the belt? Wasn't that how they did that? Shamrock got crowned champion by winning the Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
It's
been so long.
But anyway, back to R-Truth, back to your pro. Rich, quick, go ahead.
To circle it back around, R-Truth was a wonderful world champion. He showed that he could be a world champion, and kudos to you, Rez, for not mentioning that he stayed at your house. I appreciate that.
He totally did.
R-Truth stayed at your house?
Sure. Yeah, he did.
Was he hiding from all those people trying to get his 7-Eleven title?
No, it was long before that. It was actually R-Truth, David Young, Sonny Siaki, and Elix Skipper. They all got left behind.
Did you try to touch any of them while they were sleeping or anything?
They got left behind by what?
They got left behind by the promoter.
The resurrection of pro wrestling? What happened?
Yeah. It was the promoter totally did not get their hotel rooms, and it worked out good for me because they were at an after party with me, and the promoter didn't buy them their hotel rooms. The promoter was actually somebody that me and Rich Quick know very well. But but yeah, he
is he a shady promoter by any chance?
No, it's not shady. Believe it or not, Shady is a terrible human being, and I will never not say.
That's automatically where I
I was about to ask who it was, but I was trying to find a way to not say his name.
Well, I was trying to do it all discreet, like him. I was like,
you
nope,
ain't
don't
gonna
want
find me. No. He's done some terrible things to people. I mean, from what I understand, he's turned his life around now, and he's good. But I wouldn't trust him with a pack of gum. I don't know. No way. I mean, get me once. Shame on you. Get me twice. Shame on me, right?
But it's twice, and then you get R-Truth hanging out your house.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't it though. It was we're talking about Rocky, actually.
I know.
Okay.
I know what we were talking about. I was just
Well, anyway, I got stuck with these guys, and it was Bridge Day weekend, and every single hotel in Harper Road was booked, and they had to get 4 hours of sleep before they headed to Knoxville, Tennessee, to do those pay-per-views that me and you were talking about. And he
get any sleep?
My dog took a crap right in front of Sonny Siaki's couch, and it was like right there. It was a terrible situation. I had a puppy, took a big pile of crap, and it was like the puppy that's almost a dog. So it was a pile of crap right in front of Sonny Siaki.
I don't know how we got the dog crap on the couch, but
it happens. It wasn't on the couch. It was on the floor.
We were.
It was on.
Long story short, R-Truth being the 24/7 champion is a good thing. By the way, this is the first time I've seen Heath Slater on television in a long time.
Right. Very
true.
Was
great. and that elevator scene gave people personality.
Yeah.
It actually EC3 got to talk. Who would have thought?
And what about
EC3 got to talk? And
what about they called him Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle got a shout out.
That's the longest I've seen Cedric Alexander on TV in at least a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really sad he was in that elevator. I was like, all these other guys. Oh, this is like the elevator to the basement. And I'm sad that EC or that Cedric Alexander was in that elevator. I was sad that all of them were,
Right.
but it was going straight to hell. That's out.
Anyway, let's move on, gentlemen. Brian, what was your pro of the week, my friend?
Man, I've got like 3 pros of the week, and I don't know which one to pick. I was hoping one of you guys would
do them all.
I'll tell you what, if you want to, Brian, hold on, and me and Rich will throw ours out, and then you can get what's left.
Okay, go ahead.
That work?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
go
go.
ahead.
Okay, my pro of the week is, as a whole, Firefly Funhouse. How could it not be? You got Mercy the Buzzard that's trying to eat Ramblin' the Rabbit. Then Bray Wyatt comes in, kills Ramblin' Rabbit, and turns him into jelly. And this is amazing to me because you got this PG era, and then you have Bray Wyatt, which is brilliant, killing Ramblin' Rabbit, which Ramblin' Rabbit will probably be back next week like they did before.
Right.
But
I
it's
sure hope
just-
so.
It's just a step in the right direction. Ramblin' Rabbit threatened to reveal the real secrets, you know. This is the kind of wrestling I want. I know it's not wrestling, it's just a vignette, but the
Kind of
mindset,
story you want.
the story I want. Yes, that's what I want. I want the cliffhanger. I think that's why I have enjoyed the Firefly Funhouse so much, is because that cliffhanger is there. When's the last time WWE TV took you off the show hanging on the edge of your seat wondering what's going to happen next week?
Right.
You know, when's the last time we had that? And that's the kind of feeling I'm getting with Firefly Funhouse. You know, what in the heck's he going to do next?
Right.
You know, first you got him, last week he was making fun of Vince McMahon with the
With the
McMahon
Muscle
puppet,
Man dance.
with the Muscle Man dance. And this week he's killing the rabbit that's his friend, but his friend was about to talk and can't have that. I mean, it's brilliant. I don't, when it first came out, the first time I seen it, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've seen in forever. And then I give it a little bit, like a week or two. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here? This is nuts.
Right.
This is plumb insane.
It got pointed out to me yesterday by a friend of mine. Me and him both. He'll text me, like if I'm not home watching it on a Monday or something. He'll text me what happened, and I'll go
Spoiler
home and watch
alert.
it. But me and him text back and forth about it sometimes, and he pointed out yesterday that the darker it gets, the later it shows up in the show.
I hadn't paid attention to that.
And he was like, the first 3, they were in the 9 to 10 o'clock hour, and now that they're doing it, it's like so dark and twisted, it's always after 10 o'clock. And I'm betting that since they're darker now, they're betting on the fact that the youngest viewers that are out there will already be told to go to bed by then, so they can get away with a little more. Because if you remember, back years ago in the Attitude Era, they would do that at the 10 o'clock mark. It would switch, and it would go from being Monday Night Raw to Warzone or whatever they called it. And the idea
It was
second
Warzone
recently.
first.
Was
It was Warzone first. Warzone first, then Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
and
Well,
it was
they
the
just
idea the
did this
second hour was-
recently, where they said where like the last hour when they brought in, like when they introduced the wild card thing or whatever.
Yeah,
they're
whatever
like,
that is.
the last hour is going to be different, and then they darkened everything, and everybody on the internet was like, "Ooh, does this mean the last hour is going to be more edgy? Is it going to be different?" And so far, we haven't seen that, but maybe this might be the thing that is maybe it's baby steps to the dark edgy, or maybe they just said that and hoped we would forget it. That's more likely, I think.
Well, I think they hope we forget everything fairly quickly, because Vince said the wild card rule was 3 people each from each show each night, and then
5.
on
I
the
think he
same
changed to
time he
4.
said it, there was 4 that night. So,
Yeah, that don't make sense.
And the wild card thing just kind of doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
period.
wow, yes.
My favorite thing about the
Yowie
wild card so
wowie,
far was Monday night when Kevin Owens came out. He goes, "Apparently I'm the wild card, whatever the hell that means."
Right. That was good. All right, let's move on. Rich, quick, what was your pro of the week, my friend?
That was going to be, guess what? I have 1.5. All right, so that was going to be one of my pros was the fact that because of the Funhouse, making fun of Vince and all the stuff he does and kind of alluding to the Moxley interview kind of thing, then Kevin Owens going, wild card, whatever the hell that means. And then recently, which one of the New Day was like, oh, that's a booking thing. Like
Kofi did that to Big E.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they are acknowledging what everybody knows. And I can't understand why they're doing that other than to try to make it, oh, if WWE's in on the joke, then it won't be a big deal because everybody else is.
Right.
You know,
I mean, hell, Sammy brought up AEW on that little segment.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, you're acknowledging things
if you
that
guys
are a
have
problem.
If you guys have not, actually, I'm going to save that because I'm not sure what Brian's pro is. Go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. But actually, on a non-WWE note, I would say my pro was the New Japan thing. Okay, Jon Moxley wins the the United States Championship, declares himself for the G1. Kenta comes back, which was Hideo Itami, who was very underused. I know he got hurt, but he was underused in WWE. He comes back, announces for the G1. Jericho has a good showing, loses, but still cuts a hell of a promo afterwards. Now, I think New Japan is using these former WWE talents correctly. They are never going to compete with WWE, but they can be the biggest thing, as they already are, in Japan. And they're using people that they already know to come back. And I think next year, once the Good Brothers come back, which you know they're gonna, and if Shinsuke Nakamura is smart,
he does speak English.
Yeah, but he speaks freaking Japanese. So New Japan would love to have him back.
He speaks money.
And
That's what he speaks.
I think AEW would want him too.
Yeah, but he's like almost 40 years old. Not that that's a big deal because, you know, AJ is
42.
Same age, you know. But it's like, I think you can come to WWE, let them kill you, and then go show what you're really going to do. And I think New Japan is going to show people what these broken toys from WWE can really do. And you know what? Rez and I were on the same page for a long time about Kenny Omega. We were on the same page that, no, he needs to go to WWE because everybody needs to go there and have a chance to show, because you're not going to be great
anywhere else.
Well, Shinsuke went there and they killed him. And so I think Kenny made the right decision because he would have gone there and they would have tried to reinvent him.
I don't think that the majority of the American public gets Nakamura. Like, if you have no idea what he did in New Japan,
that's because he don't speak English, Brian.
Well,
Shut up.
That's true, though.
Grown folks is talking.
But you know what? That's part of it. He doesn't speak English. When he does speak English, he sounds like he has a mental defect, and he's not as good as he was in New Japan. And maybe that's because of his agents. Maybe that's because he's just lazy and just collecting a paycheck. But either way, Shinsuke Nakamura is not going to get over with the majority. Even though I like him, you like him, Andy Frampton likes him, John Cubby Cole likes him, even though he cracks on his English. The point is, he's just not going to be over like that in America.
Whenever he turned heel and low-blowed, was it Daniel Bryan? AJ Styles. That was great. There was so much heat on him. The crowd was like, all right, now we can boo this guy. That's what they wanted from the get-go.
It was one of the few big pops at that WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
And then it came out in the news that he wanted to go to AEW, and then all of a sudden everything stopped for him.
I don't
just like
that, but okay.
Yeah, he wants to go to AEW. He doesn't want to. He said that he wasn't going to return back to WWE. When his contract was out, he was gone.
Now, did he say that in English or?
He said it in enough English for him to.
You are a
I'm
you're
a
a
champ.
cunt hair. I'll
I'm
say
a
you're
champ.
a cunt hair away from being offensive. See, I was offensive when I said it, so therefore it equals out.
Don't judge me. You stone thrower in a glass house, you.
I think
Brian,
that,
what was your pro of the week, my friend?
Man, I got a couple. One I could pick from that I'm not going to is Revival winning the tag team titles and that finish. That was awesome. The finish was great. It was old school heel. It was phenomenal. I loved that part. Also, I love the fact that they put Chad Gable on 205 Live. I've been saying that for months and months and months, and then boom, they put him out there. Now, they did cut his hair and change his gimmick, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too promising. But he's there. He's on 205 Live, and that made me very happy.
What's the deal with him taking notes?
No idea. That's what I'm saying. It could be really bad. I mean, maybe it turns out really good, like Firefly Funhouse, but I seriously doubt it. It looks like it's going to.
You know what I think it is? I think Shane Helms is producing him.
It should be
and I think Shane Helms is making a Jimmy Olsen character, only to make Chad Gable a superhero, a new.
Oh man, I hope so, Rich. That'd be fun.
Maybe that would be awesome.
Is that a good idea? Did I make a joke and make a good idea?
Yeah,
I believe so. I think it's a great idea.
Oh, well, son of a bitch.
The room thinks that'd be a good idea.
Why not?
I meant to do that the entire
everything else
time.
they're doing.
I don't know. Personally, I think that Chad Gable should be the Kurt Angle type of 205 Live and take over that aspect of it. Sort of like how Dean Malenko was a technical wrestler against high-flying luchadors in WCW. I would like to see him do the same thing. But my major pro, and my pro makes me want to say bro, because Vince Russo totally did a podcast about the conspiracy that AEW is owned or in cahoots with WWE. Now, that podcast was awesome. And the show is so much better without Matt Coon. That's just a little sidebar.
It really is. It really is. I was skeptical, Brian. Before you continue, I was skeptical because I like Matt.
Call
Coon.
him
We're
bro.
friends.
If when you're talking about the podcast,
yeah, tell me about it, bro.
Well, listen, bro.
Listen, bro. Tell me about it, bro.
Whenever Matt Coon left, and it wasn't so much Matt Coon leaving, but whenever Russo said he's going to have a different host every week, I'm like, this is going to be a disaster. But it's been good so far. I had Stevie Ray last week, and then this week.
That's what I'm saying. That Stevie Ray show was freaking terrible, and it was still leagues. It was leagues better than having Matt Coon there. It's like Stevie Ray's dumbass was sitting there fumbling on his words, and it made me happy. I was like, you know what was cool about this podcast? Matt Coon's not on it. That's what I said. But nevertheless, it's this episode that happened this week is my pro, and it's because Vince Russo and the conspiracy horsemen pick apart AEW and pick apart the WWE, and they ask some questions, and I'm like, I don't know if jet fuel burns steel beams. You know what I mean? They really said some interesting things, and I think that everyone should listen to it. There's some answers. I mean, there's answers that I cannot fathom. Like, tell me this, and we can totally go past this. But the point is like, how come Billy Gunn got to be Billy Gunn? No one's asked that question. He got to be Billy Gunn on AEW TV. How long was he Kip freaking James? He couldn't say Billy Gunn on TNA. He said Billy Gunn on AEW. How? Why?
I'll say my response to that would be the same way that Simon Gotch can now be called Simon Gotch instead of Simon Grimm.
So they released...
Simon. Yeah, they did not renew the copyright.
It's a freaking tragedy that he gets to use the word Gotch anyway. Gotch is mean. It means something to the wrestling business.
It does, but I don't hate him. I really don't hate him.
I really do, because it's just a name, period. I've always hated him. He hasn't been that great of a wrestler either. But the fact that he used Frank Gotch's name and he's not incredible is very disrespectful.
That's
It was
irrelevant. That's
given to
irrelevant.
him.
Back to what you're talking about, Brian. Rich, have you listened to it yet? The
No,
Christmas
hell no, I
Consequences?
haven't listened to that.
You'd
I
love it, dude.
It's
Vince Russo's
great.
podcast.
Listen,
It's great.
I'm with you, Rich, because whenever they first said that Russo said that it could be in WWE and AEW could be in bed with together, I'm like, you're stupid, you're an idiot. But some of the facts that they pointed out on this, just like Brian was alluding to there a minute ago, stuff like, for instance, Moxley's exit. Have you ever seen that happen in the wrestling business? Ever?
Never. But that was obvious.
Well,
There's
not only
something
just
there.
that, but Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, he still had time on his contract. Asked for his release. Vince McMahon gives him his release. Though
They didn't
damn
add
good and
no
well,
extras.
he's going to go to AEW and do the dream match with Cody Rhodes.
No, I think that
Have you seen Triple H's new video of him sitting in the same throne
Oh,
and
yeah.
showing off the
Yes.
fact that he's in a suit? I'm telling you, the conspiracy here goes deep. And I'll tell you this, I torture myself every single week to listen to Vince Russo babble in hopes that I can find some gold somewhere in this mucky river.
You got to remember,
And I
you
do
got to
it every
remember, you
single
got to
week.
sift through a lot of dirt to find that gold, man.
I'm saying, I'm telling you, it's like that. Listen to his podcast every week, and I do it. I spend a lot of time in the car. I have to listen. I mean, I listen to Cornette. I listen to all the ones I love, but I also listen to Vince Russo just so I can find those little things that are cool that he says. And this podcast is the best Vince Russo episode I've heard, period. And Matt
have
Coon
you
was
heard
nowhere
about a
on
chance,
it.
Andy?
I haven't listened to it. I can't. I'm still just getting to the point where I can listen to Bischoff's.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's why.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the hardest part is listening to him say "bro" 1,000
Yeah,
times.
that's my thing.
And I dear, or he'll say "a" like words that end with "a" and they have an R attached to them that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I got an
That's
idea.
I actually
really
enjoy
weird.
that. That's fun to me. I'm like, there's another one.
Taz
There's
used to
another
get me
one.
like that on commentary. He'd call him John Cena. I'd be like,
Yeah,
come on,
seen
man.
her.
I liked
Yeah.
what old Santino called him, John Cena.
John Cena.
John
Ray
Cena.
Mastrio.
But yeah, like Brian said, if you guys out there in Ramble Land have not listened to that yet, do yourself a favor. Listen to that episode at least, because there is a lot of
Do
red
yourself a
flags
favor
in there.
and read the cliff notes. Don't actually listen to it.
No, you should. Stevie Richards is really awesome on this episode.
Stevie Richards?
Yeah,
Stevie
Stevie
Ray.
American.
No,
go out
Stevie
and
Ray
read.
was on the first one, and it was
Okay.
terrible. It was like listening to people you don't like have a conversation. It was really bad.
See, every time
really
I get
bad.
Brian and Rich together, we can't even get through the freaking pros and cons. We've been here an hour already.
Have we?
An hour, because these guys talk so damn much. Guys, we're going to take a commercial break, come back, and try to talk a little bit about some weekly news before we get to the weekly topic. We'll be right back.
Well, rein us
Son.
in, producer.
Since 2001, drug companies dumped 1 billion opioid pills in West Virginia, causing over 3,000 overdose deaths and thousands of babies born addicted by no fault of their own. I'm attorney Stephen New. If you're the grandparent or guardian of a child born with neonatal abstinence syndrome, call me. I'll help you seek just compensation.
Call the law offices of Stephen P. New at 1-844-BAD-PILLS before time runs out.
All right, there you go, guys. Go ahead and check out Mr. Steve New if you need some help. He'll get you lined out real quick in a jiffy. We're going to talk about some weekly news, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. Some of the stuff we already mentioned. I'm going to try to move through this quickly so we can get to some other things. Brian mentioned Chad Gable's now on 205 Live. I think that's going to be good for him. Joey Ryan and his wife are getting a divorce. Does this surprise any of you guys? Yeah. Does this surprise you guys?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know their relationship.
Yeah.
So
I know if my
I
wife
can't
was
say
going around
anything.
letting people pay her to grab her downstairs Ura, I'm going to be upset.
But wait, he's charging $30
Yeah.
to touch his.
That's what I'm saying.
pot
That's
call,
my wife.
pot
is doing
meat
the same
kettle.
thing he's
Oh, I
doing.
What
thought you
the
were
hell?
saying she was doing it too.
No,
Yeah, I don't know what their relationship
Oh
is
man,
like.
I was
All
gonna say
I
that's
know
a
is
real.
he proposed to her in the ring.
Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I was gonna say it's
something.
like 2 or 3 years ago, which honestly, that's about what marriages between wrestlers take.
No.
The exception of
I mean,
He
hey,
also has said that he's not signing with anybody. He's staying on the Indies. And this guy, even though I give him a hard time and I'm not a fan of him, he's busy. He's booked all the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably never
I mean,
home.
I won't comment on anybody's personal relationship about stuff like that because it's like I'm not going to speculate. I don't know their life because wrestlers are wrestlers. Real life people are real life people, and sometimes So
who is she?
I don't know her name. Why you asking me facts?
Is she a
great
wrestler?
research.
Yeah,
great research.
She's a wrestler. Cause,
I don't know who he's married to.
There's a video. Yeah, I don't know her name. It's
I saw him
This ain't
propose.
freaking
well.
Cheers, Brian.
I'm not a Joey Ryan fan. If by chance Joey Ryan sees this, I'm sorry. I liked you when you had the boomstick in TNA and everything, but once the penis pile driver or whatever you're doing,
penis flipper is what we call it around these
once
parts.
I saw you eliminate
See,
11
it's the
guys out
YouPorn
of Battle
flex.
Royal with it, I was done with you.
He was really awesome in Lucha Underground too, man. When he came to Lucha Underground, I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. And then he started flexing people with his wiener other places.
I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but last week we talked about Ric Flair putting out the video where he accused his management team of ripping him off, stealing money off his former management team. Well, they have come out and said they are suing Ric Flair for defamation of character, yada, 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 yada. I wish Steve would have been here because he could have given us some really intelligent views from the attorney side of things. But I knew whenever he said it, he was in trouble because if you can prove it, good on you. But if it's just speculation, you're messing up, buddy.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is that best luck to you because if they were his managers, they would know that Ric Flair probably don't. He don't have that much money. He's notoriously not rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he gets paid a lot. He spends a lot. He gets paid a lot, But Ric Flair ain't got a lot in the coffers, as we say. So
the last time he owed a bunch of money, he ended up sitting in a Walmart for an hour in every state in the country.
Yeah.
For Coca-Cola.
Yep.
So I mean,
Coca-Cola paid all his bills for that, and he
good
had to
luck. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna sue Ric Flair and get nothing. So
I hope he goes on another autograph
tour.
tour.
And get nothing, and you're going to sit behind 9 other lawsuits before yours even gets looked at.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Just put a
the man
put a
is
lien on his house?
Like, the man's almost died twice. Do you really? I hope he lives forever, personally. But,
It's crazy to think about is he sold his robe collection and made more money than any normal person would need to spend the rest of their life.
I know.
Like literally, when he sold his robe collection, he made more money than any of us would need to live for the rest of our lives. I mean, we could totally sit back on $5 or $6 million and probably get through life. Some people, some people could, most people could. But
speaking of million,
Ric Flair didn't.
SmackDown Live doesn't get over 2 million viewers this week. I don't know if you guys seen that. It was like 1.8, which I can't tell you the last time that happened, but that shows you where they're going. You know what I mean? They got to do something. They got to fix something.
Well, hold on. This week was up against, like, Raw and SmackDown were up against, weren't they up against, I mean, maybe not SmackDown. No, like, Raw was up against the NBA Finals.
Right.
I thought SmackDown was.
Was it?
One
of the two was.
It
It was Tuesday night, wasn't it?
It was Monday night.
One of them was up against it to the point where that game might have been the last game.
No,
Yeah.
it might have been. Yeah,
I think that was Monday night.
that
The one where
Tuesday
Kevin
night where-
Durant got hurt.
Yeah, it was the day that if the Raptors would have won, it'd have been over.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they lost, and they're going to lose 2 more times to lose the championship. But that's
So
that's
Raw
Holy
was
shit.
a pass.
I got a sighting here, guys, on Facebook. Laura James wrestled for Vavoom. I guess that's who Joey Ryan was married to. Derek, where the hell are you at, pal? Anyway, as you were.
He's in your
Popping up
shed
info.
that you've put him in.
He's tweeting
He
us
needs
from the
water and
driveway.
food.
He just found his that card that goes in your phone that makes his phone work from where you
The SIM
smashed
card?
it.
Look, guys, he lost his smile. He needed a day, okay?
Triple H
Yeah.
says that WWE would not be opposed to letting Matt Riddle back in the cage to fight if he would ever want to. Would you guys like to see that?
Yeah.
Is it going to be against Goldberg?
No,
No.
that's the only way I want to see it if it's against Goldberg because Matt Riddle does not need to get hurt. He needs to become the WWE World Champion. So
If he
I
goes
don't-
against Goldberg, he's going to get hurt.
no, if he goes against Goldberg,
No.
he's gonna beat the crap out
In
of
a
Goldberg.
work, he'll get hurt. In a shoot, he will not.
No,
No,
yeah,
in a
that's
shoot,
the
Matt
difference.
Riddle destroy him.
Are you trying to tell
Exactly.
me that you actually think they would pay Goldberg the money to go
No.
in a shoot against Matt Riddle?
No.
I honestly don't think that he has any much other use. If you're not going to do that, if you're not going to pay him to go get his ass beat for real on TV, I don't want to ever see him again.
They need
That's
to
the
bring
only way I
back-
want to see him.
They need
Okay.
to bring back Vince Russo and put him with Matt Riddle.
You need to shut your whore mouth, John Kevin Cole. All right, now.
This guy's out of control this week.
by
How
the
much
way-
wine are you drinking tonight, Rich?
Not a bit.
Okay.
It's church. No, it's
It's
church
church
juice.
night.
It's church
Church
juice.
night, baby.
Yeah. No. By the way, on your weekly thing, is the Chael Sonnen thing on there?
It is.
Okay, so I won't mention that. All right. So if Matt Riddle would go into, and this is going old school. Oh, you gonna cut me off?
All right, we got a call coming in from Chattanooga, Tennessee, guys.
Cut me off.
Hello,
All right.
you're on with the Royal Ramble. Who do we got?
Jordan in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Jordan
Jordan.
from Cleveland, Tennessee. How you doing, bud?
Oh, I am doing great. I noticed you're talking about the best tag team move of all time.
Actually, we're
That would
not.
have
We
to
haven't
be-
got there yet, bud.
You're
Pay
getting ahead of us,
attention.
buddy.
Pay attention.
Oh,
We ain't there yet. We're getting there.
but
Right
yes,
now we're
I've
talking
been
about
paying
weekly
attention
news.
to a lot of the shows recently. I watched the. I didn't really get to watch the Saudi Arabia show, but from what I did see of it, I didn't miss anything.
Garbage. It was garbage, just like every other WWE show for the last 6 months. Garbage.
Triple H
God.
Randy
It,
Orton
it,
was
look,
awesome.
it looks like one of Paul Lee's outlaw shows he runs at parking lots.
I don't know who Paul Lee is, but okay.
Local
No,
reference
good little
from
noise.
800 miles
Paulie.
away. We're cool with it.
He don't know that.
I dug Triple H and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
That definitely
That
was
was
a
good.
match.
I'll give you that. That was.
It was
good.
a really great house show. It was a really great house show.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
If you start calling it a house show, he's not going to pay $1 billion
live event.
for it.
It's a live event.
I mean,
It's
it was
a
a really
WWE
it was the
pay-per-view.
equivalent to WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Don't
But
let
anyway,
me-
while we got you on the line, since you're dying to throw out your tag team move of all time, go ahead and throw yours out. We'll talk about it here shortly.
The Vegematic from the
Vegematic.
Midnight Express.
nice.
I don't remember that one. What's that?
Of course you don't. Of course you don't.
The
Now we'll explain it
Vegematic.
later. No, don't explain it.
All
We'll
right,
explain it
these
to
guys
him
will
later.
explain later. I appreciate you calling in, brother. Ramble
What
on,
am
my
I?
friend. He said, "Screw you guys, you're pricks. I ain't talking
Yeah.
to you." Anyway, go ahead. Where were we?
I'm not good with the public.
I don't know. I forget.
Let's keep going
Your
here.
job to
Okay.
remind me.
How
I was
about
talking.
this?
I was talking, then I got interrupted.
Yeah, you said
So-
the Chael Sonnen thing. You said you weren't going to talk
Oh.
about that.
Okay, so if Matt Riddle, let's go old school rules, all right? Like back in the territory days. If Matt Riddle, sure, kid, go get into UFC. If you lose, you're screwed. If you win,
You're made.
You're made. Yeah, sure, let the kid go fight. If he wins, he wins big. If he loses, then
Then
push
he'll be chasing
over.
our truth around the building.
He's going to be chasing our truth around the building.
Give me that
So I
48,
say-
8, 7
So I
time.
say
Here's the thing.
let the boy fight.
No,
Matt
don't.
Riddle goes back to
Don't let
Matt
the
Riddle
boy
goes back
fight.
to MMA. He loses, but he loses to Jack Swagger.
No,
Does Jack
No, that's-
Swagger get his
he would
spot
beat
back?
Jack
Jack Swagger
ass.
gets his spot. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what-
Here's one even better, guys. Here's one
I,
even
I,
better.
no, I love that.
Here's one
Jack
even
Swagger
better.
wins in life.
Let's book Matt Riddle versus CM Punk. CM Punk, you're a fighter. Fight this guy. That'd be great. That'd be money right
That
there.
is a good idea. That'd be a good idea because I would give Matt Riddle probably 16 minutes on every one of my TV shows to talk about how he wants to do that.
Matt Riddle's got
and
16
then he
minutes
would-
worth of promo.
And then he would quickly beat CM Punk.
Yeah, he would beat CM Punk to death, but he would have to really talk and chip away at CM Punk to get him to even
Oh, that'd be the
respond.
greatest work in the world.
To what Rich Quick was alluding to there a little bit ago, it was reported that Chael Sonnen was offered 2 big money offers from WWE back in July of 2012 before UFC 148. Sonnen claims that the first offer for him was to no-show the UFC event, where he was booked to face the then middleweight champion Anderson Silva for $1 million. The second offer was if he beat Silva and then came to Raw the following week with the UFC middleweight title. He claims they offered him $5 million for that. He lost the fight, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But Sonnen said the reason they wanted him to come in so bad was to stick it up Dana White's ass.
Up until this fight, Jim Cornette was Chael Sonnen's good luck charm. Did you know that? Did you know that?
This is 2012, bruh.
Oh, well, then I'm thinking about the recent fight.
Oh, I know. I heard Cornette talking about that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, then, yeah. He was saying it was good luck charm.
Do you think there's any legitimacy to that? You think that was really a thing? You think they would offer him that much money back in 2012?
I don't feel like they would have, because I don't think that many people knew who Chael Sonnen was back then. Not enough to justify that money.
No. But should Chael Sonnen be a part of WWE? 100%. Actually, not even WWE. Alex Marvez. Get out of here. You're trash. Chael Sonnen should be a commentator. He was never, I don't feel that if Chael Sonnen was ever offered a contract with WWE, it was ever going to perform. Chael Sonnen is a promo man, and he is a commentator. That is where the money lies in Chael Sonnen, and he can still do it to this day. So I think that if he is putting this out there, it's because he's looking for a job and would like someone to hire him to be a commentator.
What do you think, Andy? You think there's any legitimacy to his statement? You think he's just trying to do what Rich says?
I do think he was offered $1 million to no show. I do think that, because somewhere in the back of Vince's mind, I think he thinks he could work at that point. Especially, he thought he could work with something with Dana White. How you had this guy facing your champion, but I just offered him a better deal to come here and face mine. So I'll believe the $1 million. The $5 million, no, I don't believe that at all.
I believe that. I believe that if you bring too many MMA people over at the same time, you're going to really wear that whole genre out. Because you're also
going to expose the guys who don't have any kind of combat experience outside of professional wrestling.
That's true too. Or you'll expose the incompetence of an MMA fighter in a pro wrestling ring.
Well, yeah, you're going to do both, actually. If the MMA guy gets more than 2 matches, you're going to do both.
Well, I mean, look at it. Ronda dominated people because she's a legit badass, right? Shayna Baszler dominates people because she's a legit badass.
But she works a brutal match that lasts forever.
I was about to say,
can't do that.
Here's the thing, too. They're both legit badasses, but you also realize they both enjoy professional wrestling of what they're doing.
Well, Shanna is leagues ahead of Ronda in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
absolutely.
No, in MMA, Ronda Rousey would destroy Shanna Baszler. In the wrestling world,
in pro wrestling, Shayna's leagues above her. Yeah,
leagues above her. I think Shanna's on the level of a Tessa Blanchard. She is awesome. I mean, absolutely incredible. And
I'll tell you, when I first seen Shayna Baszler was when she was going around the Performance Center choking everybody out. You remember that?
I do. I remember
like, she
had me fooled. She had me fooled. The first video that I seen of that, I thought it was real. I thought it was something posted that I really did. I seen it.
I'm glad. I am so glad that after all these years,
they got me on the first video.
You used to have a boyish wonderment in the world.
Yeah, well, you know it didn't look like professional. The very first one did not look like a professional camera got it. The rest of them were professional camera. They wouldn't have got me with that.
You got to remember that this was back when WWE was doing all their promos with their phones too. Though,
no.
It was right
See, but here's the thing. They were having professionals film it with phones. I think you have the other talent film it with phones because normal people film things like shit. They don't know how to film things. That's why everything looks so
everything's vertical.
Because you're not taught how to film things. Oh, everything. But when it's yes. So that's what I would do if I was at Performance Center. This thing's going to happen. Everybody freaking pull out your phones and film this.
Yelling World Star in the background.
Yeah,
And then post that shit to World Star.
Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a change of subject, but back to Facebook. Derek Jones says, I'm watching from a safe distance. Since I was not
Sounds
so
scared.
welcome last time I was there. Well, you're welcome anytime, pal.
How
Come
you're
on
not
in.
welcome? You're on the intro.
Come on in, man. The water's
This is
fine.
a safe space. I mean, Skype is a safe space.
Yeah, we're okay
There, I
over
don't
here.
know. I don't know what you're doing over there.
You know what? I would have to be a liar if I didn't say I was kind of worried about Andy Frampton. Andy, don't show any interest in that belt of John Covey Cole's.
It's okay.
Don't do it, man. He
What do you
does
mean it's okay?
really
This is a top-notch piece of
underhand
work right
things.
here, pal.
Well,
You don't care about it.
What
You
these
don't
guys
care.
are talking about, they
Just
keep
drop it.
saying that I took out Derek Jones back before Ramble
He
the Bank
did.
happened, and it's bullshit.
He
It
did.
never happened. I did not. I
Well,
keep
I
telling you, I
mean-
did not.
There's a reason why there used to be 4 people at that table, and now 2 of us are on Skype right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
you know,
Just saying.
watch yourself, Frampton.
Ruthless
I
aggression.
love you. I love
the
you
size of
a lot.
grapefruits. Yada yada.
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, bro.
Real Big Cliff on Facebook, he says, Matt Riddle wasn't great in the Octagon, in all honesty. I'll follow MMA religiously. Trust me, he wasn't great. Still.
But he was in and
Block him for
Look,
punching holes in
shut
his
up.
theory. Tell him
if
to
you
shut
make
up.
it to
But
UFC,
CM Punk wasn't great either, but he got there.
Yeah, because of name. Matt Riddle, if you get to the big stage, it's like saying like, oh, this guy went to WWE and he sucked. Well, he's still better than the guy you're going to see on a freaking indie show.
Except for James Ellsworth.
Except for, that's
All right, that's
CM
I didn't
Punk
think we were
is the
going that
James
far, but all right.
Ellsworth of UFC. Correct?
Ellsworth
Right.
sent me some pictures. You want to see them?
I mean,
Matt,
they can't be any worse than the ones Brett Favre sent me.
Dave Meltzer says that Cody Ibushi is all right. He's just got a black eye. I don't know if you guys seen the bill in the back that he took on the apron at Dominion, but it was
Yeah.
nasty.
yeah, that could have killed him, really. I mean, we could be
Yeah,
talking
that
about
was
how he
bad.
died.
Yeah,
That was bad.
That was
Stupid.
On it, that Pedro McGrath, whatever that guy that Rey Mysterio killed, that video wasn't as terrible as that video that I watched with the belly to back.
right.
I mean, like I'm saying,
I
the
agree.
bump itself, the bump that the guy who died with Rey Mysterio was less than that bump.
yeah.
No.
Is my
And
point.
like, we talk about this like on our personal messages. It's like, can we all agree that apron bumps are not
Hey,
good?
Brian, the whole world is getting your ice sloshing around there, pal.
Nice.
Yeah. that's
You guys
what I'm
like
saying.
it?
You
Yeah.
have to ask him.
Bro.
You like it, the eyes? Huh?
You like the ice?
eyes?
Well, I'm trying to save the planet by not using a straw, John. I don't know what you want me to do. You want me to destroy the planet and use
You
a
want-
straw?
Do you want him to kill turtles?
Just
Is that what you
use the
want?
straw.
Is that what you want?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't
You
seen a
want
turtle.
turtle? You want dead
the
turtle? John
straw
Covey
to the
Cole
nose.
Here's the
likes
deal.
dead
Here's
turtles.
the deal.
That's what we're going to
Just
say
use
right
the
now.
straw. Stick with plastic
All right.
straws. Because I don't know what your friend base is like, but not everybody in my friend base can keep a dollar bill rolled that tight. And I'm not going back to like crappy bumps because a couple of sea turtles died, okay? Plastic
Well-
straws till the day I'm in the grave.
You know, maybe it's time you make some sacrifices for the turtles in the world. You know, because this
I'll
turtle's got a
sacrifice a
straw
turtle
in
if
him.
you give me one.
Oh man,
You ever eat a turtle?
I should have told you
And-
before the show, but my wife, she is a huge turtle mark. I hope she didn't hear you just now.
I really thought you were about to
for
tell me
real,
your
turtles-
wife was a turtle. I was like, that's just weird.
my wife is a fourth turtle.
Yeah. My wife's
She's a
third
tortoise.
generation sea turtle.
On her daddy's side.
Daddy.
All right, so where were we on
You should
this?
see our kids.
Oh God, we've gone too far. We can't
have.
get back.
This is a
We on
wrestling
the
show.
tag team thing yet?
This is a wrestling show, guys. No, we still got a couple more pieces of
No, I'm
news.
telling you, when I'm
All
here,
right.
it goes off the rails fast.
It
If
does.
there's anything I can do, it is derail a discussion.
He's like runaway
That
train
drugs.
right now.
Is that like a special skill on your resume?
Yeah.
It should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I changed
Straight
it.
up.
Derail-
It's at the very top.
Cardi B is interested in working with the WWE. Dang on, that made Rich
No.
quick
Rich was
leave.
like, well, I'm out.
He said,
Oh,
I can't
I'm
handle
here.
this.
Oh, good God!
Rich,
No.
get your life together, pal. What's going on over there?
I'm sorry. I had a thing. Go ahead.
Anyway, Cardi B wants to come to WWE. How does that make you guys feel?
It makes me feel sick in my stomach.
But there's a fan
I
base
feel like
that
I
she would
feel like
bring
I
with her.
just
What
I feel like I
does she
just got an
wanna do in
STD from that
WWE?
comment.
It just
I
said
feel like
she
that. I feel like that comment gave me an STD for real.
It said she would be willing or interested in doing something with them. She's a big fan. Batista's her favorite. The Rock, yada yada yada.
No,
But
sorry,
is
there's a
it like,
Batista
is
thing
she-
that's never
Is
mind.
she willing to put in time to actually?
No, she wants to make
Maria
a cameo.
Menounos, or however her
No.
last name does. Like she actually knows a tiny inkling of what is supposed to go on in there.
I imagine
No,
Cardi B
it's-
music is the same idea that you will get with Cardi B on a wrestling show.
No. Okay,
So
hold on.
what you're telling me is somebody is going to put her through a flaming table of lyrics.
No,
Probably.
special guest. Remember that time where they went through the guest host of Raw,
Yeah, that's fine.
right? Like Snoop was a guest host. Why he's not in the Hall of Fame, I don't
Pee
know.
Wee
I
Herman
think
was
Steve
the guest
Harvey
host.
was too, wasn't he?
I think Bob Barker was. Drew
Yeah, but
Carey.
Bob Barker's deal was
Drew
funny.
Carey deserves it because he got tombstoned a bunch. But the thing
Rich,
is,
I
like,
so did
cannot
Pete
take you
Rose.
seriously. Where the hell did you go?
what? I'm right here. I'm looking at myself.
I can't. I mean, I can see him, but I can't see him on the screen.
I
Oh,
can
now I can see him at all.
You done pushed
Am I
the
good?
button. No, you're not on TV.
You're just the
Good
Skype logo.
God Almighty!
You're just a memory.
But
I don't know
if
what's
she's
wrong.
going to come and do anything, I'd like for her to do like when Kim Kardashian was at WrestleMania, and the only good thing she did was she got the ever-loving hell scared out of her by Ken Kennedy. That'd be well. Now they can't see me.
Hi, Rich. Hey, they couldn't see that. Just so you know. Sorry.